This is a Headgum podcast.
You can be wherever you want. Of these two chairs, or no. Actually, I'll. You can
sit
be
there.
You can sit there. Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with that one. I look
A little
super
presumptuous, but yeah, sure. I mean,
great space.
thank you very much.
Is
I
this
just
your dedicated studio? This one here.
I own the building and the air rights to most of the kind of Silver Lake Echo Park zone.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Now you are, I gotta say, way overdressed for the temperature. I mean, that is, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt.
You think a hoodie and sweats is overdressed? I was worried I'm underdressed.
It's like 80 degrees. It's a beautiful, crisp Los Angeles winter's day.
Yeah.
And no, I want to say it's 76, 77.
Yeah,
degrees?
it's nice, but see, it's chilly in here. I don't know. You know what it is? I don't know.
It is a
what
little
it
chilly
is.
in here.
As the older I get, the colder I get.
I think that's a real thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Or maybe not. You're just not as comfortable with the cold.
Yeah, I'm from Maryland originally, Baltimore, so we grew up with snow and winters.
Yeah.
Not like a Green Bay or a Minnesota, but we grew up with real winters. And as soon as I moved here, within 6 months, I couldn't take it anymore. My blood thinned quickly.
I know a couple people like that, like Bob Odenkirk, who grew up in a suburb of Chicago, lived in Chicago, lived in New York. I think was out here for just a couple years and then would complain and bitch about the cold when he was back. Like, it's too cold.
I've always said I like to play in it. I don't like to live in it.
What about temporarily? What if somebody said, here's a trade-off.
Mm-hmm.
I will give you the delights of spring, the emotional uplifting of spring and everything that comes with it.
The awakening, the birth,
the
renew, the smells, the sounds, the chirps.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I will also give you
fresh cut grass. Sorry, go ahead.
No, fresh cut grass. Keep them coming. They're all barbecues.
Smelling the rain on the pavement before it actually drops from the sky.
Taking off that winter coat.
Yeah.
You know? And I'll also give you the also joyousness and the comfort of fall as summer turns and life goes on, and all the accompanying things. So the idyllic warmth of a fire and the smell of wood smoke. Mm-hmm. And fall vegetables and seasonings and the foods that accompany it, and just the extra life it gives you as and you get to wear some of your different outfits. You know, a sweater that you really like,
and you can smell the smoke from the fire in your clothes.
Yeah. I'll give you those things.
Spring and fall. Okay.
The trade-off is. You have to have 3 months of the thing you like to play in but don't like to live in. There's your trade-off.
Definitely. I could do that for sure.
Then why don't you move back to Baltimore?
Well, because everything I do is here, and my child is here. My daughter, my family I've built is here. She's only 10.
I mean,
in a practical world, I can't because her mom and I aren't together, and it's a 50-50 custody situation.
Shit.
And if I move back to Baltimore, I'm just a piece of shit.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We're trying to break cycles here.
Why don't you bring her with?
I think about Maryland is something that's always on my heart. It just is. I really do love the state. I love the food. I love. You've got the Chesapeake there. You also have the beach there. You've got a city there. You've got the mountains there. You have a real
What mountains?
Appalachian,
Oh, okay.
Appalachia.
Appalachian Mountains. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Out there in Western
Sure.
Maryland. So you've got all the...
I was thinking Baltimore you were going through, but yes.
Yeah, but just then on the other side of Baltimore, you have this massive Chesapeake Bay and this whole weird bay community. And then on the other side of the bay is a whole different kind of redneck on the eastern shore leading up to Ocean City and then all the touristy crap there, So I really do love Maryland. But yeah, I think my daughter's 10 now, so I think about maybe 10 years. It's a spot I certainly consider for sure.
You could even do 8, really. I mean, once she's out of high school.
Yeah, could.
And
could do it in 8.
I mean, unless she stays
but
behind
the winter months wouldn't be the months I'd go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, winter in Maryland.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Georgia, but I grew up all over the place, but I'm mostly Georgia by far. But then I went from Georgia to Boston. I was in Boston for
that's
9+ years, and then I moved to LA and then to New York.
I just don't miss, I used to drive a 1990 Honda Civic with original rims, and I don't miss getting up. So my whole thing was in college. All right, I worked at UPS. Shout out to UPS, Baltimore Hub Primary 1, Joe Avenue. I worked there, and I did the graveyard shift there. So I say graveyard because I'd work from 4 p.m. and we wouldn't get out till supposed to be 2 a.m. But during
That's a long shift.
It's a long shift. And during the winter months, the trucks that would come up from Lexington, Kentucky, and all these other places, you'd have to wait on them. So sometimes that one truck would get there till 3 or 4 in the morning. And then I would go home. I'd sleep for about 3 hours. I'd get up. I'd go to Towson. That's where I graduated college finally, Towson State at the time. And I would get up, and we didn't have a garage or anything, so you're parking on the street. It's just street parking, and my doors are frozen. And the only way I could get into that Civic was popping the hatchback and climbing through the hatchback. And I don't miss that shit at all.
Well, you're also
I appreciated it at the time. I don't feel like I need to go back.
But you don't have to go back. You first of all, they make better cars now. And second of all, you could you're not going to be in the position of having to get up at 7 a.m. to get into your car because you have to go to the UPS and unless things go terribly south for you.
Yeah, could happen.
Sure, but let's assume they don't. I think it's a safe bet.
Yeah, you're right. Now I can go from my house. I can start the car outside, heat the damn thing up before I ever even get into it. In Baltimore, you go out, that thing's gone. That thing's gone.
Well, that's why they call it Charm City.
Yeah, Charm City, bro. Yeah. You know what you made me think of? We used to have these things. Remember this? I might even still be out there in the mall. Brookstone. Remember that store? Brookstone with all the gadgets and shit.
Sure.
So we used to have
the Sky Mall of the malls.
Yeah, you're right. We used to have this game in class where they would sell this thing that kind of looks like the car keys now, where you press the button and the little thing flicks up out of it. It's that metal key, but it was just
the spare key in case you're in an emergency. That thing?
No, some I don't know, some of the.
I do know what you're talking about. It's almost like a switchblade.
Yeah, and it's just a little, a little.
Yes.
So they would sell something similar to that would it would heat up. And it would go in your car key or your door locks.
Yeah,
and
that's smart.
It would melt the ice, and then you could get your key open. And that thing would fucking get hot.
Yeah.
And so
that was the point. No,
we have, ridiculously hot. It didn't need to get that hot, but it got fucking hot. And about 4 or 5 of us had them, and we'd sit in class. And just in the middle of class, it'd be somewhere like that.
Sure.
But quietly from behind, and you get them right in here. Oh, right in this side. And you just be sitting in class and sitting there, and you go, ah! And the teacher would be like, what's going on back there? You're like, nothing. And you just had to take it because you knew you were going to get them later.
And there was
they fucking burned, man.
Second where it's touching your skin before it registers.
You don't see it or anything.
And then it's immediate, like, God damn, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Fuck.
100%.
Mr. Sickler, is everything okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's burning like a son.
Tiniest spontaneous combustion just happened. Just very site specific on underneath my elbow. Oh boy. Well, I think we've made a case for you to move back to Baltimore.
Maybe. I do. I think about it all the time. I do. I look at property there a lot.
Yeah.
But I also, when it's time, I don't want to be on top of everybody anymore. Like, I like a little bit of space and some breathing room, and
that's
get
why I
away
moved to
a little
Brooklyn.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Is that not? I mean, that seems to me like a lot of people too.
well, I'm not in downtown Brooklyn. I'm in. I'm in all of Brooklyn. Pretty much is. It's tighter, denser, but it's
you have more breathing room and
way
space.
more trees, way more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I love it. I wouldn't go back to Manhattan at all.
No.
But so let's go back. Why did your wife leave you? And you don't have to answer that right now.
I'm going to answer everything.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, because you can take a second.
Yeah, no worries.
We can come back
I've
to
had
it.
a lot of therapy. I can answer that healthy. We were never married.
Okay.
We were engaged.
Right.
She already had a son. She had a son from his father. And
Makes sense.
I met him when he was about 6. And I've been in his life ever since. He considers himself my stepson. I'm very close with his dad. And
we talked about this when I did your podcast. I did your podcast a couple years ago.
The HoneyDew.
And I remember. Sorry, you go ahead. I'm not going to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I just remember you being impressed with my parallel parking skills because you came out and you knocked on the window. I didn't know who the fuck you were. I was like, what? And we were kind of in it's whatever, West Side LA. There's no. It's just sort of an in between. Is it residential? Is it business? I don't know what it is. And it's just some dude rapping on my window. I'm like, what? Yeah, hi. Like, that's some good parallel parking.
Crushed it. You should have seen it. It's a thing of beauty. I judge people on shit like that.
Yeah,
like,
well,
this
that's East Coast.
10 minutes
That's
to
East
fucking
Coast.
park in this god. That's the other thing. You don't have driveways a lot. You got a street park on
Yeah.
the East Coast. A lot of street parking.
Now go back to you were talking about your son.
He's I call him my stepson. And then I dated his mom for it was like couple years, and then we split for a couple years, and then she hit me back up, and then slowly we got back together. And
Can't stay away from that Sickler D. Come on now.
I don't know about
Come
that.
on
bro.
now.
Listen, yeah, she can. She's permanently away from it. It's not a problem for her. And she had said to me, like, I don't want to, we talked about having a child. I really wanted to have a kid, and so did she, but she wanted to be married. She said, I've already had a kid out of wedlock, been there, done that. I don't want to do that. And at the time, I'm 40, she's 39. And the conversation became, okay, realistically, it could take us 3 years to have a kid.
Sure. Yeah.
It's funny that there are a gazillion of us, but when you really want to make a child, it's not as easy.
No, I had the same.
Yeah.
I had that experience. Yeah.
So, the compromise was we get engaged at least.
Okay.
And so about a year later, we get engaged and we start trying to, I was 40 at that time, we start trying to have a baby. Within 3 months, it happened. So very lucky with that.
Very lucky, yeah.
And then a
when
year
you say,
later.
Sorry, but when you say try, you're talking about, okay, we're going to...
apps and
the ovulation
green
apps.
windows.
Right.
And yes, that's what I mean by trying. Yes. The science part of
I went through the same thing. Yeah.
Having a child. But again, if we were 19 and didn't want it, there's triplets,
right.
Right. So, but then a year into it, she decided, don't really want to do this anymore.
Don't want to
get married. Don't want to have a family like that. So we split. And when my daughter's 1, I'm a new dad still, and now I'm a new single dad.
That's hard, man.
Bro.
She's really
got hindsight of also raising a child.
It's hard for both of you. It's something that a new mom would say, I'm going to do this. We'll do this. We'll co-parent, but a lot of this I'm going to do by myself. Like that's quite a bold move.
So it becomes 50-50
Man,
because
that's
I don't
hard.
want to be a Wednesday every other weekend dad.
It's your
I want to be
kid.
a fucking dad.
It's your kid. Yeah.
And this is everything I've wanted now being ripped away.
Ugh,
So,
awful.
I mean, I'm able to laugh about things now. Like we had this one
that must be
care.com.
so hard to process.
It almost killed me.
And constant
I clotted,
questioning.
I almost died. It
Jesus.
gets wild after this. It gets wild. Health takes a big downhill turn after this. And we were on care.com. We found this really nice lady who was a caretaker, watching my daughter. Mm-hmm. And I'm moving out while this lady's and she's crying. Every day she's like, "How are you? Are you? I cannot believe." And I was like, I sit next to her. I start crying. I'm like, "Listen, I got to do this. So the more you cry, the longer it's going to take me to move my shit out of here." And I appreciate your, empathy here, but I'm gonna fucking do this. And I'm just moving my shit out. And then I find a place. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified of everything. I have a new kid. I don't know anything about being a dad.
I'm still there's such a sense of betrayal and having the rug pulled out from under you. And did any of this come up at all? Like, or was it a total?
Well, let's remember this, David Cross. We did date for 2 years prior, and then we split. Mm-hmm. So there's not a lot. There's not a lot of new things that come up with the problems. The old ugly stuff rears its head again eventually.
I guess I meant
so
more.
The answer is yes. Were there red flags and things? Yeah, for both of us.
I don't mean red flags. I mean, like, was there any kind of communication like, "Hey, I don't know if I'm feeling very comfortable having a partner in this," or any broaching the subject, I guess, is what I'm saying, before she just said, "Hey, this isn't working for me. You got to split."
There was never moments where it was soft or kind or intellectual like that. It was always 10.
I'm sorry, man.
It was always
I'm so sorry.
Arguments and 10,
Yeah.
Listen, honestly, it is the best thing because we do co-parent great together. We're just not meant to be partners.
I wouldn't like her. I mean, I don't like her now.
It's hard at first.
I would resent her. I don't know if that feeling would ever go away. And yes, you have to overlook or ignore or give certain things up. And you're emotionally, if you're going to be successfully co-parenting. Yeah, I get that, but I would still have I don't know if I could shake the resentment.
Oh, listen, it's been 10 years. The first few years were not.
Yeah,
they weren't. They were hot for both of us. She had her gripes. I had my gripes, and I'm fighting back.
Fuck her gripes.
No longer,
she kicked. No, she.
I'm no longer taking it. I'm gonna fight back now. But also, I'm in a position where I feel. How many kids do you have?
103.
103.
No, wait. No, I have one. I sometimes mix my baseball card collection up with my daughter. No, I have way more than 103 baseball cards. I have one daughter.
What? How old?
Just turned 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in this. My daughter's 10 now. So at 1, I go get this apartment, a single dad apartment. I'm not embarrassed to say it all. It was.
You shouldn't be embarrassed about any of this.
It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, no central air, no central heat.
That you should be embarrassed about.
The whole wall unit.
Wait, laundry, no central air?
No central air. On the west side, no central. I had to get a place.
Oh, west side is not.
That's what everyone says. That's bullshit.
No,
you need
it's
air.
Not. No,
you need air on the west side. I live there. You need air.
I mean, maybe now.
There's like 2 months out of the year you need air. But parking is tandem. Our balcony is above 2 dumpsters. You're hearing them drag them out every Monday and Wednesday. That's where we're going. We have a pool in the courtyard that does not have a fence or anything around it. And they asked me to sign something saying that's okay. And I do, because what I decide is if I'm going to be a father in this world, then I need to teach my kids some things. And the first thing we're going to learn how to do is swim. And so I put a screen door and a baby gate when she was 1, but as soon as she was 2, boom, put her right in the pool. We put her in lessons.
Yeah.
And
Smart.
then she just and then during COVID, I was like, all you're going to do is swim. Now she's a fish, So I went out there every day, made her swim. So, but also again, she was a mom already. She had a kid. And one night my daughter wakes up with croup, the cough.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck that was the first time I heard her coming out of our kid. I thought
you sound like a walrus.
I thought she was dying.
Yeah.
And I always say, it can't happen on my watch.
Yeah, I have that feeling of
it can't happen on my watch, Yeah. It can't happen on Dad's watch.
When they're young, you have that, you do actually think these thoughts of like, before mom comes or the daycare or whoever or whatever it is, like, and it's just you, maybe for the weekend, you're like, okay, good. I got through 48 hours and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey folks, if you're constantly on the move or just tired of skipping meals, Huel has you covered. Here they are right here. They're today's sponsored, spelled Huel, and their Black Edition ready to drink is a total game changer. This is it. You can see it says the word Black Edition. That's how you know that it's the Black Edition. It's a complete meal in one bottle with 35 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, high fiber, and low sugar. So you feel full, focused, and ready for your day. No prep, no cleanup, just grab and go. Huel's already sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it's your turn to try it. New customers get 15% off, plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use my code SENSES. Don't miss out. Try it today. Now, I would, because I have had drunken. I've drunk from these Huel bottles before, right here on camera. You've seen me do it. I would with this one, but as you can see, it's already been opened, and one of the folks here, Emma, who's one of the producers here, has already had about half of the bottle. And I don't know, she seems very nice, but I don't know what her lifestyle is outside of this office, so I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to put my lips to it. Or otherwise I would, because I've had it and it's delicious. That's 15% plus a free gift for new customers using my exclusive code SENSES at Huel.com. Please see our description for the terms and conditions. Skip the stress, not the nutrition. Try Huel today for complete nutrition bottled.
So I call her. And she's still angry and stuff too. So she just tells me to man up. That's what she told me. So I manned up. And I'll tell you,
And you call looking for help?
I didn't know what it was. I had never heard of it.
And her daughter is emitting a guttural sound that sounds like a dying walrus, right? I've heard that. We've heard it. And you're scared, you don't know, and you're looking for help from somebody who lives in the same town, right? Down the street.
Minutes away.
Who says, man up.
As a child, whose child this also is, yes. Yeah,
that's fucked up.
That's the kind of fighting it was at first.
That's fucked up.
For sure. Yeah.
And it's not debatable. That's just a shitty thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
For both you and the kid. That's just shitty.
Thank God for Google. I don't know how to done. I don't know what kind of single dad I'd have been in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
You would have figured it out, and everybody has over time, and it's just the idea that there's help and that help is being taken away from you in such a shitty, it almost seems petty way is doubly, and then you got to ignore it. You got to go, all right, I got to figure this out myself. Let's do it. I'll be angry later.
In the end, was better for me. You start to
think it was a tough love thing. You think she's going to walk in and go, Ryan,
I don't think there was
Ryan,
a
you
method
passed
to
the
her
test.
madness.
I had a 10-year test for you, and you passed it. Congratulations.
Listen, here's where we are at this point. I promise you this. We switch with each other. When I need to go on the road and work, she switches. Her mom just passed away. You know, I was like, I got my daughter for 3 weeks, whatever. I love it. I don't get to see her. I get 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But not a true 50-50 because you're on the road, and we all know what that's like.
Well, here's the thing. I built my stand-up around that. I refuse to sacrifice because, as you know, you get 18 years. And of those 18 years, maybe they start remembering things at 4.
Maybe, yeah.
And then maybe around 13, they want to hang out with their friends.
Yeah.
You got about decade of quality time. And now that's been cut in half.
Right.
And that's where my first thoughts were. And then just because you live right over there, down the street, it felt like Mars to me.
Yeah.
What's going on over there? Who's coming in over there? What's going on? Who are you seeing? Who's doing this? Where's she going? What friends is she hanging out with? And it just, all that anxiety at first. And then I would worry about like, well, if she dates a boyfriend who has older kids, are they going to get my daughter addicted to drugs? Are they going to abuse her? Are they so then it was like, get your fucking ass in therapy and stop this future tripping and every worst case fucking scenario that you can possibly create. And I dealt with that first. And then right when she said she wanted to split, I felt like these weird, I would rub my hands on my jeans and I could feel like my veins in my legs, like a topographical map. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I called the hospital and like, you're clotting. You need to get into the hospital right away. And I was
those are real things. It's not mental. You can, oh, wow. Okay.
And I was like, what? And they're like, you're clotting. So I go in and
I'm sorry, what is the cause of clotting? Is it worry? Is it stress?
This is what I find out. I don't know. And I'm not even joking to this. Like, we joke enough, my daughter's mother and I, where when we first went in, I told the doctor, I grabbed him by the thing, I go, check me for low-grade poison. He goes, what? I go, check me for low-grade. He goes, that's pretty specific. I go, she watches Snapped and all those shows all the time.
Were you serious or were you joking?
This came out of nowhere. I was half serious, half joking. He goes, I can tell you right now, you're not poisoned. I go, okay, thank you. And what ended up happening was I had kidney stones.
Oh.
And then there were complications with the kidney stones, and then it gets worse and worse. So I'm still not even moved out at this point when I'm going through this. I'm in the middle of moving out, and I just come home one day, and they tell me, you may have leukemia. You may have cancer. And I'm like, what? So now I'm like losing my kid, my family. They're telling me I may have cancer. They don't know what's going on with me. It's a 6-month thing. And I come home one day and I lost it. I really did. I broke down. I started crying. I looked at her. I go, hey, I'm going to wave a white flag here. I don't want to argue anymore. Like, they just told me I might have cancer and I'm not going to know for a few more weeks. So I'd really appreciate it if we could just take our foot off the gas and stop going at each other like that. And she was very good about it. And then, I end up finding out that good news is I'll never forget going to this oncologist and the lady's like, how do you feel? And I go, I'm terrified. I'm terrified. You have the answers. You're about to tell me if my life is going to change. And she said, well, good news is you don't have cancer. And I was like, oh, just, and she goes, how do you feel? And I go, relieved. And she goes, listen to me. It's my job every day to tell people that they do have cancer. And she goes, and today I got to tell someone they didn't. And I'm telling you right now, go home and you celebrate that. And the way she said it, I was like, I'm going to, God damn it. I'm going to go fucking celebrate it. But what I do have is a blood disease called factor V Leiden. And it just means that my blood's thick and I'm prone to clotting.
Okay.
But all this comes out because this shit happens to me. And all this shit happens to me at 42, which is the exact same age my father dies. And after going through a divorce with my mother and everything else, it is a wild fucking parallel. And
so it's genetic.
So
getting divorced in your family is
genetics, 100%,
in your genes.
100% it's in our genes.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yes,
Man.
single dads are in our genes.
And so that must have occurred to you that.
Well, that's
my
when
dad,
at 42 I start backtracking, and now we're
Right.
piecing all this together. Like, oh, Dad didn't die of a heart attack. Dad died of this
Oh.
genetic shit here. Now my brothers have to go get tested.
Oh, sure. Well, that's good then. Then you can get ahead of it.
And nobody in the family has it but me. He passed it on to me. Now I have to have my daughter tested later because if she fucking has this shit, birth control pills are a problem because they already are prone to clotting.
Right.
Any kind of bed rest, a car accident, a pregnancy, like you're a ticking time bomb if you lay still. So I find out I have all this shit and I'm going through, there was a night where I was in so much fucking pain. I'm laying on my bed in that single dad apartment. And I'm fucking laying there and I'm crying. My chest is killing me. And I'm looking up at the dead bugs and those fucking, you know what I'm talking about? I'm like, is this what I'm going to see when I'm dying? The dead bugs and those little lamps up there they didn't clean out. And I just gave myself up. I really gave myself up. And then I fucking woke up and I was like, you have to fucking figure this out. And I just kept going and kept going. And after 6 months, they figure out what it is. They get me on medications and they set me on my way. And I'm good. I'm good until a couple years ago, 2 years ago exactly, when I go get a back surgery and I tell them I have this and they let me lay still for almost a week at Cedars-Sinai and I clot and almost die. And then it's...
because for the convalescing from the surgery.
No. So what happened was I went in for what I was told was a simple 3-hour outpatient back surgery, and I go home for the weekend, but the swelling isn't going down. And the doctor said, send me a picture. And he said, okay, it looks like you might have some internal bleeding, and it's just pooling there. Come back in. They open me back up, and they fix it. And they go, but instead of the original recovery was to walk lightly and do things, but he's like, now you need to lay and let that recover. And I was like, I can't just lay.
But you told him he knows.
It's in all of my pre-op paperwork, but it's not him. He's done. It's now I'm at Cedars-Sinai. Yeah. And this is the problem I talk about all the time. It was the care and it wasn't any problem with it was the care and keeping of me at the hospital. And I'm telling them, I can't fucking lay still. I can't lay still. I'll die. I can't lay still. For a week, I'm in there, 5-6 days. And the day... everything worked differently that day. The occupational therapist had come in at like 5 a.m. to tell me we're going to do your steps, and then if you do it, you can get out of here. And they had just given me Dilaudid, and I was fucked up. And I was like, can you come back and do this a little later? She's like, no problem. So she comes back.
You want to enjoy that high.
I mean, I couldn't. Yeah, I can't be stepping or anything. Yeah. But again, the single dad pad saves me because there's one flight of stairs going up to my door. Okay. If I don't have stairs, I go home one day early. But because I have stairs, they asked me to stay an extra day and prove I can walk upstairs on my own. And again, another fortunate thing, she goes, well, the hallway stairwell is locked. So I brought a little step stool thing in here. We're just going to go up and down. And I want you to show me you can do this. And I do it. And she says, Mr. Sickler, congratulations. As your occupational therapist, I can happily tell you that today you can finally go home. And that moment, I grab my chest like Fred G. Sanford, and I fucking clutch, and I say, I'm clotting. And she's like, what? I go, I'm clotting. And I collapse on the bed. This poor lady, I wish I could see her again someday. She runs out and gets someone. Surgeon runs in. I can't see anything. I feel it. I know because this has happened to me. And he's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm clotting. He goes, how do you know? I said, I've clotted before. He said, do you feel like there's an elephant on your chest? I said, I feel like there's 3 of them on my fucking chest. And he goes, do you feel any heart attack symptoms? I said, no. And he goes, how about now? And I go, oh my God, yes. And the pain's going down the left arm and the jaw. And he goes, sir, you might be clotting and having a heart attack. I collapse. I black out. I wake up. And they're like, you're lucky to be... the surgeon, David Cross, came in crying for me. Crying. And I go, why are you crying? He's like, you don't even know how lucky you are to be alive. You have massive pulmonary embolism. He's like, right now your heart's twice its size. And he goes, the problem is this blood disease you have. Normally they can go in through your groin and just like suck the clots out. He goes, because of what you have, we can't do that, or we could basically make you a vegetable. And I was like, okay, well, we're not doing that. He's like, so we have to give you the old school blood thinner through an IV. And I'm telling you right now that the next 48 hours for you are touch and go, and you should make some calls. And I was like,
Wow.
what the fuck?
And your state of mind is clear.
Clear as can
lucid.
be.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm also like, I'm everything. I'm angry. I'm not in there because I'm smoking too much or drinking too much or not eating or not working out. I'm in there because they
genetic
fucked up.
luck.
Well, also they didn't listen.
Right.
It's shit genetic luck, but if they just would have put me on a blood thinner or got me up and move my body, I'm good. I'm telling people every day, and they're not listening.
So are you more active now because you have to be like?
I have to be like. Yeah. Golfing isn't really a thing I think I want to do, but I think I'm gonna do it just because I want to walk. I need to get my machine in motion, and I'm competitive, so fuck, probably go golf in my 60s or something. But I had to call my daughter's mother and be like, they just told me I might not live, and she's like, what are you talking about? What's going on? And had to call a few people and be like, I had to call my business manager. I'm like, hey, remember when we joked about that whole life insurance? I was like, make sure that shit's in line. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, make sure. So I'm in there after that, it was 3 weeks, almost the whole month of January I spent in the hospital. And then I get out.
And your daughter's how old at this point?
At that point, she's only 7.
Well, it's still enough to be terrified.
They won't even let her visit. They tell me she's too young. They still saying COVID bullshit in 2023. I'm like, no. And I wouldn't FaceTime her. I would talk to her, but I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
I look like I'm about to die. The tubes are up. I'm out of it. I don't want to scare her. So, but I talk to her every day. And then eventually, like week 3, I tell her mom, just fuck them. You're her mom. You're not a guardian. When you get here, you tell them we're her parents, and we're telling you she's coming. So they backed off and let her come up.
And how did she react?
My daughter, man, if she was obviously like she was being so sweet. People would send flowers, so she's looking at the flowers and she's putting them in my hair and she's decorating the bed with the flowers and just trying to. And she's getting up on the bed and hugging me and shit.
Oh gosh.
And you get me all upset. It didn't really hit me too because her teacher at the time emailed me and said, I didn't know this lady. And she just said, Stella said you're not doing so great. And I was like, oh man, my kid's at school.
Yeah.
Worried and telling people. And at the time, I'm in the hospital. I just shot my first special. I'm releasing the special. Go watch my special, Lefty Son, on my YouTube. The guy who gave me this fucking blood disease, I had no idea as I'm naming the special that. And we're in Austin to promote. And it was spring break for my daughter, so I took her with me. And I've known Tom and Christina for 20-some years, so I take her down. We go hang out, and play with the kids and stuff. And we have a hotel one night, and I don't know what my daughter was thinking. And we were laying in the bed, and she just rolled over, and she goes, you made it out of the hospital, Dad, out of nowhere. She's like, you made it. And I just started bawling. She started bawling. I was like, I fucking
that's beautiful.
Man. So she's been good about it ever since. She likes to tell her friends that I almost died and stuff. But the doctor this last time, she went for a physical. She's 10 now, was like, would you like to test her for her blood to see? And I was like, we don't need to do that now. We don't need to test her yet. There's no reason to test her until we need to test her. So, but this is a thing that a lot of people have, and I could have too. Like, it's a blood disease that I didn't know I had. I'm born with it. 42 years, I don't find out about it. You know what I mean? So, also, if you don't have an incident, you could live to be 90 years old and just never even know you had this shit.
Right. And are passing it on to...
And, right.
You know.
Yeah.
Man. And where is your stepson in all this? Is he able to visit? Is he?
Dude, let me tell you, that kid, I joke about the ROI on that kid, but man, what a return on investment being nice to that kid turned out to be. He took me to my surgery.
Yeah.
He came to the hospital nonstop. When I was home for the weekend, he came over, helped me change bandages, took pictures. Was constantly coming up and checking on me. He's a great big brother. They're 11 years apart, and he's great. He comes over.
That's good to hear.
He's a really good big brother. So, yeah, he really stepped up and helped me out big time.
Well, that wasn't a very funny story. I think people are like, well, what's going on? Who invited Captain Bring Down? I'm of all the details in that story, I'm shocked that the surgeon was also named David Cross.
He was. I couldn't believe it either. If I'd have known you at that time.
Yeah.
You really want to hear something that's wild and funny? This is a true story. I'm in there. I've just clotted. I'm out of my mind. And there's a lot of Filipina nurses in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And they had seen one of the nurses out there look me up. And she's like, oh, we saw you're a comic. And I'm like, And this Filipina nurse is wheeling me in. And she goes, do you know Joe Coy?
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. I didn't want to interrupt, but that's literally.
Yeah, I know Joe Coy. Yeah. She's like, can you FaceTime? I'm like, I'm not fucking FaceTiming Joe Coy, lady. But I'm texting him. I'm like, Joe Coy. It's so many levels. This fucking lady's trying to get me to FaceTime you right now. And so he did. He tried to FaceTime in, and she had stepped out. I swear to God. And when she came back, I go, your boy just tried to fucking FaceTime right now. And she goes, call him back. I go, I'm not calling him back. And then he wrote back, he goes, don't worry. When she leaves, there'll be another one that comes right behind her. And there was another Filipina nurse right fucking behind her. Yeah.
I knew, I was like, yeah, they were like, do you know Joe Coy?
No, Joe Coy. And shout out to Joe Coy, offered to pay for all my medical bills.
Wow.
Very sweet of him.
Good for him.
He flexed on me while I was in the hospital. He's like, I got it, And I was like, we all know you got it, bro. We all know you got it.
Let's wait and see how your movie does.
Let's see if I make it out of here. If I don't, you can pay for my funeral costs.
That's very, very generous of him. That's very nice.
Yeah.
The thing about I had rotator cuff surgery, and I went into the operating theater, which is and I've had other surgeries before, but this one was like really big, and like the thing with the windows up at the top, like it's a big like.
Are students watching and stuff too?
Yeah, and it's like it's just more than I've ever experienced with that kind of stuff, and as they're everything's being prepped, and they've already given me a little bit of the Valium IV, and but all this stuff is going on, and one of the I guess the anesthesiologist comes over, and as he's putting the mask on me. And so it's like that classic film shot of all my eyes could see is the mask coming on and his face. And he's like, I'm a huge Arrested Development fan. And that's like the last thing I get. Like, and before, there's nothing to say. Okay, now we're going to cut you open.
That's what he said.
Yeah. They're like, all right.
Good,
And one time I had to get a colonoscopy, and it was the last one I got. I've had a couple of them just for fun. I don't have to have them, but I enjoy the whole thing, and it's a good excuse, But again, similar situation, much less. I mean, it was just a room, and. But the people on the floor, the nurses and stuff, are, and it's a colonoscopy, so you're on your side, and your ass is about to be, it's already exposed. But they're like, we love Alvin and the Chipmunks. And
you got an Alvin and the
I got
Chipmunks
an Alvin
before they
and the
go in your asshole?
before I lose consciousness and they go into my asshole. It's true. It's 100% true.
We, by the way,
And
the group of them behind you.
And because of the way that stuff works, they've got it. Obviously, I'm not saying anything that isn't understood, but it's literally down to a science where you go out and then it's like you wake up, and when you wake up, it's not the classic like, huh, what's going? Like you wake up and are a little groggy, but you're like, oh, I'm in a different room, and I know I was here for this thing, and you're like, and they're like, okay, you can go. Huh? Oh, okay. How did it go? What time is it? What day is it? That kind of thing. But to have, we're big Alvin and Chipmunks fans. Go out with your ass, laying sideways with your ass out, and then wake up in a different room. Like, hey,
it's Alvin and the Chipmunks for your ass is my favorite. The family.
When I was having the surgery, did other people come in and, hey, did they get on the PA and go, hey, if anybody wants to check out the Alvin and Chipmunks guy, the guy who stole the chipmunks, his ass, anybody wants to check out his ass, he's in room 32.
I did a colonoscopy last year, and I took the prep. I did exactly what they said I was supposed to do.
Oh, God, that awful
I'm timing
shit.
it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden...
That's the worst part about
my buddy's there with his daughter. We've known each other since 9th grade, coincidentally.
Well, tell people what the prep is, what you get, for those who don't know.
Okay, so I had I think it was a powder or something.
Yeah, it's like that magnesium.
Mix it in water, and then you got to drink it.
You have to set your alarm, too.
That's what it was like every 5 minutes, I want to say, and it's like bang, bang. You got to drink enough of them, and there's 2 rounds of that. Then you take a break, and then there's another round later. It's like a midday and evening. Oh,
that's it. I remember having to. Set my alarm to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're right. I did a 1 a.m. or something like that, but I got it. You got to go to the pharmacy. It was They said there was one you could do over the counter, but I just took the prescription one. She's like, if you use this stuff, you can do it too. I was like,
but you have to drink like a gallon,
so much of it,
the stuff and the water combined, and it's awful.
I start feeling nauseous, and my buddy's looking at me, and I was like, I think I'm gonna fucking throw up, and I just start violently puking.
There's a gallon of
nonstop,
liquid.
like the Stand By Me scene, and I just look up at him and I'm like, did I do something wrong? He starts laughing so fucking hard, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. So then I set my alarm. You're right. I get up in the middle of the night. I do it, but I'm not shitting. Like it's not, and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. And then 3 a.m, I start to go a little bit, and then I go in and I tell him, I'm like, look, man, I threw up.
Yeah,
I was not clear at all this morning. He's like, oh, we might not be able to do this. And I'm like, well, I have to get off blood thinners for this now, so I'd really like to do this if we can do this. He's like, well, I'm going to put you out, and I'll let you know when we wake up if we could do it or not. And when he wakes me up, he's like, you were clear as a bell back there. And I was like, which made me realize, what must they see when they come in if he thought that was good, because that was not good.
And what kind of bells is he seeing? If that was clear as a bell, like is he used to shit covered bells?
Yeah, shitty bells, man.
Shitty bells. Wow.
Yeah, it's fun getting older.
It is all part and parcel of getting older. It really is. I mean,
is there anything you do now that you, like 18-year-old you, would punch you in the face for, and vice versa?
I don't think so. Like, in what sense? What do you mean? Like in a?
I think 18-year-old me would punch me in the face if he saw me cry at commercials.
Oh, well,
and I would punch 18-year-old me in the face for littering. I littered a little too much when I was younger.
I did. Absolutely.
I couldn't even believe I used to do it. And then one day what?
I have way more things that I would punch 18-year-old me more than an 18-year-old would punch me. I don't think there's a whole lot. I think I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be punching. 18-year-old wouldn't punch 60-year-old me, but 18-year-old me would be like, wow, I'm really disappointed in you. I expected more.
18-year-old.
Oh, for sure. Like I had such grand visions of what I would be doing with my, like, I can't believe you're playing that fucking game on your phone. You could be reading that Nabokov book. I can't believe my 18-year-old would be quite disappointed in me. But 18-year-old would be exceedingly proud of me as a father and husband. But there's not too much. I mean, 18-year-old, I would just sort of sit back because I was very, in that sense that 18-year-olds have of like immortal, in the sense like nothing can hurt me. I can do whatever I want, and that would be irritating. But the meta part of it is like I shouldn't be too irritated because I turned out okay, and I lived long enough to see the technology that would allow me to go visit my 18-year-old self, which I'm thrilled with. Which is actually you can now get it at Brookstone. To bring it,
they sell it right next to
to bring it around.
Key warmer.
But I mean, I would. There's plenty of pretension that I had, and like who you trying to kid, that kind of like, and also music snob, comedy snob, that kind of annoying, judgmental behavior. Little condescending about certain things, and which I still have I try to be better about it. And I think about how much great music I missed out on. I mean, I listen to it now, but like I wouldn't listen to any Southern rock at all.
Really?
Oh,
no
fuck
Allman
that.
Brothers?
No,
none of that.
I
Really?
mean, to my detriment.
But why? What was the?
Oh, because I was into punk, and I grew up in like redneck Skinner stuff, and I was like, fuck that, fuck Led Zeppelin, and I was just into punk and kind of new wave stuff, and now I listen to, I mean, I'm just amazed at some Skinner songs where it's like, that is a perfect song, and
that clip, they just keep playing Freebird. I see a lot on social media now, but the double guitar at the end, I've gotten again a new.
Oh, it's an amazing song. They had so many, and
that documentary on them. You ever seen like the behind the music on them and stuff?
I don't know which one it was. I saw the one about the plane crash and the survivors,
and went up to the door and the guy shot him.
Yeah.
Was
that Artemis Pyle, right? Was that Artemis Pyle? Yeah.
Surviving a plane crash only to be shot after that.
That's America. That's the South in a nutshell. Man, that's
a motherfucker there.
Is Artemis Pyle not the best Southern name? It's that, and then the Georgia UGA quarterback had the best, like, kind of moneyed Stetson Bennett the Fourth.
Oh,
is such a classic Southern,
sound like old money.
Yeah, it's a classic Southern name. Stetson Bennett the Fourth.
Used to be a cologne called Stetson. Remember Stetson cologne?
I remember Stetson Bennett the Fourth cologne.
I only remember Stetson cologne because it was. Were you a wrestling fan?
No.
See, I was growing up as a kid, and it was always at the end. Lord Alfred Hayes would say Stetson cologne. He was like a sponsor of the WWF back then.
Now I'm older than you, and I grew up in Georgia, and we had. I mean, do you remember, like Dusty Rhodes, The American Dream, all those like early guys, right? And I used to go to some wrestling matches, like out in the woods, and just like weird, really weird, and but more as a, as what I would look back at 18-year-old, like cultural, which I would still do, I guess, like just soaking in all of it, and and I wasn't like a fan. I didn't follow it very well, but I saw plenty of matches. And then we had on, I think it was.
You're getting to see like Dusty Rhodes and stuff back in the day in matches like that.
No, I didn't see, not in those. These were like really the small town, small matches, and like
the guys trying to
like
get
a
there.
high school kind of gym kind of thing. But we had whatever the show was called, a wrestling show, Gordon Soley. Do you remember him, the announcer? And then, God, who was it? There were the twins who I can't remember their names, but they were like twins who did. And there was Dusty Rhodes. There was, I think that was Ric Flair was around then. I want to say, I don't know if this is pre Roddy Piper. And it was like that era. But it was so clearly, I mean, clearly fake. I mean, I'm talking low end, single A, ball of wrestling where, it's like a match and then there's, I don't know, it's a TV studio audience and I don't know where they even shot it, somewhere outside of Atlanta, I guess. And it was, I don't know, maybe 40 people tops, because they have to have cameras.
So wait, you take a room like this and you're saying there's a wrestling ring right in there and it's just a small studio audience?
Small. I'm guessing 40 at max, maybe 50. And only on three sides because you have to have cameras. And back then, it was the 70s, so big bulky cameras. And just, the whole thing with the ref looking the other way and people going, "Hey man, he picking up a metal chair. Look at, he picking up a metal chair. He about to swing the metal chair," whatever. And then the guy, looks and also the thing about getting the head in the turnbuckle where they'd be like, that cartoonish. And I was a kid and I'm like, how? I get the entertainment value, but you guys don't really think this is for real, do you?
It didn't dawn on me that it wasn't real until it's elementary school. We were into it. So my era is Bob Backlund has the belt, Iron Sheik beats him, and then they have Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik, and Hulkamania is born, and it's the whole U.S. versus Russia, everybody.
Well, the Iron Sheik was Iran, right?
Yeah, he's from Iran,
Iran. And then what was the other?
Nikolai Volkov was from Russia. That was his tag team partner.
Of course it was.
Which is so funny because
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter was the U.S. Marine.
Beat the Iron Sheik, right?
Yeah,
and I remember signs. People had signs I was in Boston at this point with like, "Hey, Sergeant Slaughter, take a Sheik on the Iron." Oh, and Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdullah the Butcher.
I remember Abdullah the Butcher because
I just watched his documentary.
Oh, he has a doc?
Vice does a whole bunch of these called Dark Side of the Ring. Do Dark Sides, and he's got one.
Because he opened up a barbecue place.
Cutting himself and stuff.
Yeah, the cutting. I learned that from the documentary.
Yeah.
Where they put the tiny little razor
blade,
and you wouldn't really see it, but then when they hit the turnbuckle, boom. Because it's your head, it bleeds.
And the
profusely.
Sweat and everything, yeah.
Because he opened up a barbecue place in Atlanta.
He did?
Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher. Yes.
I mean, that's a good segue, I think. I think so.
So, I mean, I wouldn't mind any job, and then the next job is you retire and open up a barbecue place. I would fucking love that.
I remember my dad would always go, "Second guy coming out's going to win," and every time the second guy came out, he'd win. And we're like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And then as I'm getting older one day, because I have two brothers, and we're always wrestling and stuff, and my dad goes, "It's fake." We're like, "It's not fake, Dad." And he's like, "Let me ask you a question. What would you do if I threw you against the ropes?" And I go, "You know what I'd do? I'd hold on to him." And he goes, "Yep." And I was like, "Oh, man. Why do they always bounce off and come back for a fucking clothesline?"
Yeah,
or a clothesline. Boot to the face.
A clothesline.
Why? Why would you just hold the ropes and stop you from doing that? Yeah.
But they're also moving their legs too. They're not. It's not just the.
And I was like, "Why are they fucking?" And then it just saw.
There is no Santa. Also, Ryan, There's no Santa. There is a tooth fairy. I'm not going to get into that right now, but there's no Santa.
My dad did. He got us a lot of culture. He took us to WWF when you see in those audiences, but he also used to take us to. We'd go to Oriole games, all that stuff too. But we'd go see. Baltimore didn't have an NHL team; they had an AHL team called the Skipjacks, and for a while they were the farm team for the Penguins, so they would be black and gold. But then they switched to Capitals, so they wore the red, white, and blue. And we would go to AHL hockey games, and I bet
that was fun.
That's
the
first time I ever heard cunt. First time I ever heard cunt.
Everyone knows where they were the first time they heard cunt.
And these two guys are screaming it. AHL. These tickets don't cost much. It's the audience that's rolling into AHL in like 1980.
Yeah.
And in Baltimore, and these guys are, and my dad's like, they're fuck this, and we're watching the fights, and he's laughing and letting us, get a little bit of that culture. But the guy starts saying cunt, 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 and my dad finally, I remember, he goes, guys, I got my kids right here, and they were like, we're sorry, and then right back to like, fuck that.
I will say, and I've been to 1,000 different sporting events, all different kinds, different levels, different places, different vibes and energies, but almost all the time when anybody goes, you're drunk and you're yelling, or you're watching people who look almost like dangerous, and they go, guys, my kids are here. They're usually very much like, oh, sorry, yes, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, they were, and then they just went right back to it. A few minutes later, my dad just shrugged his shoulders, like, what are you gonna do?
Ryan, this has been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
And I end every episode with a question from my daughter.
Your daughter came up with this question?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And so, okay, Ryan Sickler. Oh, plug whatever you want to plug, please.
Everything's at ryansickler.com. You can check out the HoneyDew podcast. Check out David's episode of that. I've got a podcast called The Way Back, where it's just all fun nostalgia as well. And I'm out on tour. Come see me if I'm in your town when you're around. ryansickler.com. Ryan Sickler on all your social media.
And I'm going to be at the Auto Bar, I think, in May.
In Baltimore?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Absolutely one of my top favorite places to do shows.
I'm going to talk to you about it after this, because I'm looking for a spot to go in Baltimore, and I didn't know they did it.
I fucking love the Auto Bar. I've been going there since, I think 2001 was the first time I went.
It's in Pigtown, isn't it?
I don't know what shitty neighborhood it's in.
I'm saying it. That used to be, and maybe it still is, but they would do punk shows in there.
Yeah, so it's like totally that. Because that's how I started. I shouldn't say I started that way, but I did plenty of clubs and road work and stuff. But then at around 2000, 2001, something like that, I started going out and not doing clubs, not doing comedy clubs, and going to music venues, having a band open up, and then I would do the show and just go for as long as I could before I had to pee. And then Auto Bar was one of them, and since then I've probably done it like 5-6 times.
No shit.
Yeah.
All right, I know. I used to go see shows there all the time.
It's great, and I've had I think the last 2 times, maybe not the last time, but 2 times prior to that, somebody need medical attention.
Really?
A woman both times fainting.
Are you still into any punk out of Baltimore? Do you know Turnstile?
I don't. I don't know a lot of new
Lacey
music.
teaches me them. I think Trapped Under Ice is another Baltimore band that's good.
Yeah,
punk.
I will check them out for sure. But yeah, Auto Bar is great.
Awesome.
Really fun show. Good. They take care of you, and it's just I love the audience being right there, standing room. You're not too high up. I love it. Anyway. So Ryan Sickler, here is your question from my daughter Marlo. How can the sides of paper cut you if they're not sharp?
I guess the answer I would say, hell, anything can be sharp at the right angle, ask a prisoner about how they file down a spoon. Don't tell your daughter that. I would say that.
Yeah, but that spoon was filed
Mm-hmm.
to be sharp.
Okay.
Paper. She's looking at a piece of paper.
Going, how could something like that
yeah.
cut me?
Yeah.
I would say that it's the slicing motion down that does the damage.
Okay. I don't. I'm not telling you how to answer.
Do you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think you take that straight edge, and when you slice down, it just because we're fragile.
I know the answer.
Let your daughter know we're fragile.
I know the answer.
What is the answer? Oh, wait, so you're going to tell me?
No, you know the answer. It's what It's
the slice.
Yeah, it's the angle and the slice. It doesn't happen often, but you can. But I'm not telling you how to answer. And we're good. Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was a Headgum podcast.